Hey all, welcome to the Clash Experience. I'm Drake, and today we have Texaswarrior joining us. How are you doing today, Texas?
I'm doing all right, man. How about yourself?
Could not too bad. Here making a podcast, having a good time. So, balance changes. How do we feel?
Uh, kind of iffy on some of it. Kind of like happy about some of it. Like it's a mixed bag on this one for me.
So, where do you want to start? Like Barb Barrel or somewhere else?
Uh, see, I'll openly admit I think that the small spells in the game right now were way too strong. So looking at the last two balance changes where they nerfed Snowball and now Barb Barrel, I think it did kill Barrel as a card. But I think it's more beneficial to the game because it's boxing out so many other cards like Log, Zap, and everything else.
Sure. I'll admit to you, Snowball's just much better than Zap, as of right now, and in my opinion at least. Barb Barrel was just better log unless you needed to hit towers or Princess behind towers or something. But even then, it was still not great. You just always play Barb Barrel unless you're playing Siege.
Yeah.
But
It's just one of those things that because you got the Barbarian for defense and you could kill Goblins, Rascal Girls, Princess, Dark Goblin, why would you run anything
everything,
else?
yeah, I get that. It's also an epic, which makes it nice.
Yeah.
Something I don't like is how it doesn't one-shot Rascals or Princess and Dark Goblin anymore. If you're gonna play the log type of cell, it should be doing what the log does. Or if not, it should have this other thing, which I guess the barb does. But I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just kind of a weird spot. Like, it's not viable because it can't kill them anymore, but it kind of makes it where it's no longer really going to be in the meta, and you're probably going to see a rise again of Log. Um, But I think that's better for the game at this point because Snowball and Barbarian Barrel were just boxing out all the small spells, and they were so potent in combination with each other. And a lot of people forget about that, but for me, I play Clone, and getting Barbarian Barreled and Snowballed and having a 10 plus elixir push die to 4, it's kind of depressing.
just a little bit. Also, you
Yeah.
dirty clone player, what are you doing with your life?
Uh, well,
Just
I'm a dirty Clone player. What do you expect? What do you think I'm doing?
everything you ever wanted. Anyways, small spells getting a nerf, we're kind of okay with that.
Hmm?
It allows log bait to be better, so.
Yeah, but I don't like log bait.
Yeah, I mean, log bait's fine. It isn't that heavily used and could use a little bit of help. What I'm interested in is the P.E.K.K.A. nerf. Everybody's been discussing this.
The P.E.K.K.A.
It's not a
changes.
nerf.
I think it is, though. I honestly think it is a nerf after playing against it more. And sure, it makes it interesting because it can get hits off on your tower from a lot further range. And as well, box things like Night Witch and other cards. But I think that it is better. I think it's worse now because of that health reduction. I think it makes it a lot harder to beat decks like Golem, which it's supposed to typically beat. Because now, once they get a Night Witch on it, and it's just going to shred through it, there's nothing that the P.E.K.K.A. player can really do to defend that.
Sure. I mean, they have their poison and whatnot.
Well, of
But
course.
I think it's still going to be super viable. It's going to have more situations where it's useful. However, it's going to be much worse against Golem and Siege, where the HP reduction is needed or is
Yeah.
necessary. Or having high HP is something that you want. You just
Yeah.
want to take up all the damage from the support troops.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, there's a lot. It's made where that range is a lot more situational. Because hey, being able to hit those, long units like the Prince and Night Witch and actually be able to get a hit off on them before a Night Witch would, get a staff hit or a Prince would get a lance hit. It does affect that, like when it's on an offensive end, when it has that little bit of HP where it would normally get to a tower or be able to do something, and you drop something
It
that
gets
you
hit
know
off
has a little
instead.
bit longer range to hit it and kill it. That way you can mount a counter push or whatever. but now it's still going to get a hit off and damage that unit, and it makes it where in some instances it can do more than it should. However, with that HP reduction, you're going to see a lot less of that because it's going to be dying a lot quicker too.
Sure, I can agree with that. However, I don't think in the bridge spam archetype where P.E.K.K.A is usually played, the HP is all that much of an issue because you have your E-Wiz, your Baby Dragon, your Bandit, your Ram. You have all these kind of mid-tanky troops. They don't exactly just die. They kind of just sit there and do some other stuff as well.
Oh, yes, but no at the same time. Because the P.E.K.K.A is like the biggest wall for that deck. And without having the wall there, having that P.E.K.K.A to, really kind of block out all that tower damage, if it gets shredded, it dies quickly, then you're going to have a big push coming down your throat, and you're going to wind up losing because you just don't have that extra 10% HP where it can get 1 or 2, maybe 3 more hits off.
Okay. I mean, that's reasonable. However, I think it's still extremely viable and fine where it is, if not slightly better, because of the interaction changes.
I do still think it's a nerf. However, I do agree that it will still be a viable card. I don't think it's nerfed into the ground. I don't think it's like completely removed from the meta like Barbarian Barrel now is.
Sure. I still think Barrel having another barb on top of it makes it fine, but it's not the best.
Yeah.
So, Lumberjack, feeling kind of fine.
The Lumberjack nerf, like, as a person that has played Lumberjack for, like, since the day it released, pretty much, the difference is noticeable. Specifically, when trying to defend Hog Rider. Before, you could stop it with, 1 hit if you timed it right. Now, Hog Rider, if you're just defending with the Lumberjack, is almost guaranteed 2 hits. Unless you have the Lumberjack preemptively there. That's the one interaction I've noticed the most out of that.
Okay, so just Lumberjack not being able to do as much against a hog.
Yeah, and other tanks just in general.
I mean, like, it wasn't the best against other tanks, but it always just, like, added value to whatever push you had, which is what I feel makes it better than Mini P.E.K.K.A still. But
yeah, I mean, that's the reason I run Lumberjack in my deck, is because of the Rage spell. It's just, even though Mini P.E.K.K.A has more damage and more health, adding that Rage spell to, Night Witch, Baby Dragon, Archers, a Giant Skeleton, for my deck anyways, it makes a lot more, where they do a lot more.
Deadly.
And same reason that Golem will still play Lumberjack, just because adding a Rage to a Golem and it actually being able to get to the tower is going to help a lot more than a Mini P.E.K.K.A, hitting their troop a little bit harder.
Sure. I think Lumberjack just has the ability to be the 9th card per se, because it's adding Rage as a 9th card.
Yeah.
Which I think it's unique, but I think it can also be a little bit too powerful because while Rage itself isn't great, adding it onto another card like Lumberjack is quite strong.
I agree with that.
But I would like to see some other type of effects, like how Ewiz has Zap, or is adding other small spells or some other unique things onto troops.
I want to see that at the same time I don't, because if you add too many, units that have spells attached to them, kind of, example, the Ewiz, then if you have too many that are too strong, then what's the point of running actual spells if you just have a troop that can do it better?
Sure. My counter to that would be the spells are going to be less expensive and they can hit towers or other things. But there's also Barb Barrel is kind of just like that spell plus dude as well.
Yeah.
So I think having 3 or 4 is fine, but going more than that makes it kind of suspicious of what's going on. Anyways, Fisherman, how do we feel?
I think he's still not going to be good.
He can do a lot of stuff.
I mean, I agree. It's just, I don't feel like he was. I think what changes he needs are more than just a little bit HP to survive lightning and a little bit longer hook. Like, what I really wanted to see was when the hook initially hits something, it does damage.
Sure.
That was the one thing I was looking to hope and see the most. And just, sure, he has a little bit longer range now, and sure, he can survive more, but I don't think he puts out enough versatility and to really make us spot in the meta right now, especially when we're seeing Lava Clone, Lava Loon being the predominant deck right now. Lava Hound having having the highest win rate in the game currently through all arenas.
For GCs? Or just all arenas?
Ladder.
Just ladder? Okay.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, Clash with Ash did a video on it here a couple weeks ago, talking about how, like, looking at the stats, and was talking about how Lava Hound has the highest win rate and the highest play rate that of any card in the game currently. And when the season when sure they nerfed Lumberjack, which hurts the Lava Clone deck, but they didn't really touch anything else in that Lava Hound deck, and I think it's still going to be strong as heck. I still think it's going to dominate the meta.
That's fine. I think Lava Loon has the defensive capabilities that a lot of the decks want, with the offensive capabilities that a lot of decks have. Like it's in either or, and you kind of just use both. Like you can be defensively strong while offensively active. So they're just like, well, you played a Golden deck, I guess I'll Lava Loon Balloon or Lava Hound Balloon, all matter or something.
Yeah.
Or I'll decide to play defense to get my great Goblin Cage or whatever going. So
yeah, it's just one of those things where you don't have enough to deal with it because you just do not have enough air counters. And
unless you play 2.9.
Even when you play 2.9, you're actually not favored in that matchup. You are favored. Lava Hound is.
I would argue.
That is arguable. It's like 50-50 because they don't. But it's one of those things where it's like borderline. Can go either way. But I really feel like Lava Hound has the matchup versus Expo about 2.9, mainly because of the balloon. If you're playing Lava Clone, also because you only have Fireball archers in the Tesla, depending on if they're running a big spell or not, really will determine that matchup. If they're running Fireball or Poison, I really don't see a way that Expo can win that.
Okay. Let's start on Lava Loon. I feel that it's fine because of the reason that they have very little defensive troops on the ground. So your Expo gets a free lock almost immediately. And you got to go same lane as them, which allows your Expo to tank. You have archers to take down support troops, and then Tesla for this nice stuff. You also have Ice Golem against Lava Clone, which takes down troops. You have archers, which DPSs down the pups quite quickly. You Tesla to pull. Along with a quite fast cycle, you can just keep doing it over and over again. Now, there are points where you can just get overwhelmed, but you just try to keep it to not that point. You just try to keep pushing them so they can never just quite get you.
Well, being a clone player, it depends on that first cycle in that matchup. Like, I don't play Lava Clone, but I play a Giant Skeleton Clone deck. But it really comes down to, if you let Expo set up and you truly let them, play the game they want to play, you don't have a chance. You have to put them off balance, sneak something in or something. And in most cases, they're not going to have the perfect cycle straight out the game. So I think if they don't have that Expo, they don't have that Tesla, they don't have something to counter right at the start of the game, I think Lava Hound will just run them over in most situations. It really just comes down to the cycle. But I still feel like specifically both Lava Hound decks right now that are big, the Clone and Loon, specifically the Loon deck has such an advantage because they can, if they go for a Expo at the bridge, you can just balloon it and get a pop off on it and it's down.
Sure. I would concur with your if they start with Lava Hound and I don't have an Expo, I've lost. Because they just got to do everything they ever wanted with their lives. And I'm just like, well, I guess I do nothing.
Pretty much.
Anyways, tangent over. Let's go over to Magic Archer. is going to be good again.
Fireball bait is alive and well.
What you always wanted.
I don't like it. I don't want it, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
To say the least, I'm starting doing classic challenges, grand challenges, trying to practice that deck.
I mean, yeah, it's quite strong.
Yeah, Royal Hogs, Barbarians, Magic Archer, Musketeer, all of that, and a pump as well. It gets ridiculous, and you just don't have enough spells and enough ability to deal with everything. And a lot of times,
Hey, what if I play 3 big spells? I'm a ladder player. Leave me alone.
hey, go for it, man! I'd love to see that happen. You'll just be like giant triple spell, except it's all big spells instead of little ones.
Yes, what I always wanted. So,
man, if that becomes a deck, I'd actually be perfectly okay with that because that'd be hilarious.
I mean, it just ladder player things.
Yeah.
Anyways, balance changes over. Season pass. How do we feel?
Overall, I do like how they added the season passes. Here because it incentivize players that don't really play that much to play a lot more. Especially with emotes, because I don't know, I'm a big emote player. I don't pay to win. I don't pay for card levels. I pay to emote.
That's basically pay to win.
Yeah, fair. But I just like the emotes.
That's fine. But, I mean, I think it's a reasonable cost. It's like 5 GCs. That's fine. $5. Not the end of the world.
$5, and you get 2 legendary strike chests. So you're guaranteed 2 legendaries if you do all of it. Also, you get to strike them and try and get the legendary you want. You get gold, emotes, gems, and cards.
Tower skin.
And a tower skin. And for $5, I think that's an easy purchase.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad purchase.
Sure, you have to work for it, but I think it incentivizes, and in the end, it was a smart move by Clash Royale to come out with these, pass Royale or the season passes, because people are going to have more reason to play ladder, more reason to play the game than before, where it's just like, oh, well, I'm bad at the game. I can't do well in classic challenges, grand challenges, or on ladder. Why do I care?
Yeah. My only thing that I'm not a fan of this season is the legendary chest, instead of it being 35 is 8 or 7 or something.
It's at 10.
You only get 3.
Oh, no, it says 8.
10.
Yeah, 10 is the emote.
So you don't get as many strikes.
Yeah, I didn't like that either because I only got 3 strikes on it. It's like, oh, well, I guess I'm just getting a maxed out card now.
Yeah, that sucks. Just you randomly hit your 1 max legendary that nobody has because we're all free to play here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not completely free to play. I mean, I'll admit I put in money since over time.
Since we're talking about it, yeah.
But not enough to where everything's maxed out or anything. But I've definitely put in money since I've been playing the game since literally the day it came out on Android.
Yeah, you're semi-maxed, as am I. I'm going to make the big mistake of buying more emotes if they actually have them for a good price. But
yeah,
otherwise,
I would like it if they brought down the price of emotes in the shop down from 250 gems to a little bit lower level.
150.
I understand everyone loves their loves their emotes. Everyone's probably going to buy them, but it'd just be nice if we could get more emotes added to the game and more easily accessible for players, where we don't have to dump our gems that we want to spend on challenges or on tournament rewards on those emotes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Wall Breaker Challenge. I've heard it called a lot of things. Probably
it's
not
hilarious.
Here. It is quite fantastic.
Dude, I quoted it. It's oh, hey, it's we're in the last minute of the game. There's 6 wall breakers. Just kidding, there's 12.
Yeah. My only thing is that... go for it. You were saying.
Oh, it's just hilarious. I just love it. It's the dumbest thing ever, but it's so fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My only complaint is that it's draft. But if it wasn't draft, it would just be every single slash troop in the game in one deck.
Yes, but also you have to remember they also add it to collection days as well, which is what I was referring to to where you can
Mhm.
actually play your own deck.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
really,
not a fan.
I do like the fact that they did draft though, because otherwise it'd probably be like the same decks that you see every time. They're best for the challenge.
Yeah. Like,
But
I would
you first.
continue. Okay. I don't like it in Clan Wars as it makes everybody have to have max or semi-max cards in order to play the challenge. And that just isn't like, especially if they're this sort of specific, like if specifically slash troops, then like, nah, it's not great because not everyone has their max Falcon or Wizard or Baby Dragon or whatever. Like you might have one or two, but then you have to be forced to play these other cards.
Yeah,
So
I can see that. The only reason that I do like it, being in Collection Day, like I do agree they probably should make it where it's tournament standard for it. Most of the stuff in Collection Day, I kind of like prefer if they did, but at the same time, it incentivizes the people that have like the high trophy counts in Clan Wars who have those big clans to really kind of get more Collection Day cards. I mean, like it kind of bases it off, the player and the clan, and I don't know. I both hate it and like it at the same time. It's kind of a mixed bag for me.
okay, that's reasonable. What else could we see improved in the game? Like, what could we use to make clan wars better, challenges better, just overall improve the game, other than just throwing free stuff at us?
Um, More game modes like is what I really like to see. Um, More creativity with what we can really do inside the game. Um, I think it would be cool if they had a way to play all the game modes that they've ever come out with, like do challenges and stuff like. Sorry, I accidentally moved my mic, but do
That's fine.
challenges that like aren't available anymore, and like have like some sort of like, because they've already coded into the game before, so why not just like add like a little drop down menu or something that you can click to like pull up all those game modes where you can do multiple different things, or do tournaments with them would be really cool and interesting.
Yeah. So a tournament rework, as per usual, basically never going to happen. Would be cool
Yeah.
though. I think that what you're saying is correct, in that just having like a weekly challenge from like the old game modes would be cool. You just get to see all these old game modes that you used to play, or just have
Yeah.
them become more permanent. A game like 2v2 was, but then again, not a big fan of 2v2.
Speaking of 2v2, I'd love to see them add a rank 2v2.
You and everybody else, I'm not a fan.
See, I
But
love the fact that it's a casual game mode, but honestly, I wish there was, casual 1v1, ranked 1v1, which is, like normal ladder, and there was, casual 2v2 and ranked 2v2. I think that would, diversify the game enough to where people that actually care about their rank, care about pushing, can push, while other people don't feel punished for just trying to get their, trophies for their season pass, or just trying to, practice different decks or anything.
just play the game. Like just
Yeah.
playing the game can be fun sometimes. Um, I'm not against the idea of ranked 1v or unranked 1v1, but how would you set it up? Would it just be like a CC? Like it would just be a CC without any cost or prices? You just get to like
Yeah.
play with other random people whenever they like you just hop into a pool and then once you find somebody you just play.
Yeah. It does put the problem of people that are like highly different levels being put up against each other. But I think they already have like an algorithm for like the trophies and stuff that I'm pretty sure they could maybe implement something based on like your tower level, where you only can be like one difference or two difference or something. So you're facing people more your level.
Sure. So like so it could go off of your trophies or your personal best or something, which would also incentivize you to push to play
Yeah,
against
like,
more people of your level.
so I do like that. Like basically go off your actual rank trophies, or and if there's no one close to that, it goes off like your town hall level, or like your tower level and your king level. Um,
Okay.
but like where it's still going off like that rank trophies, and you're playing people like around you that are wanting the casual. but you're not having to worry about losing trophies and stuff in case you need like a few warm-up games here before you start like actually playing seriously. Or maybe you want to try this weird off-meta deck that...
Cough, clone, cough.
Sorry, someone barged into my room. But playing some weird off-meta deck that you just want to try for the first time. It would incentivize players to play the game just more and not feel punished for everything. And I think Rank 2v2 really kind of goes to the people like me who are super competitive, care about their rank, but also enjoys 2v2 game mode and maybe has a friend that they want to play with.
Sure. My big thing in 2v2 is that you just have this other person. Like, right? Like, if you're moderately okay at the game, like, I consider myself to be above average. Like, I'm not that great, but I can, like, win a GC every once in a blue moon. Like, that having this other random person or this other specific person may not just be the best for you, and it just ends up working incredibly poorly, leading to a bad mood or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's also like I played it with a bunch of 3K players way too often.
Yeah.
Randoms.
So going on that note, also how your decks can be completely different and not work together. I like it where, like if you queue with a partner, clan, friends list as well. I think that'd be cool to implement. And just anyone boss like that you want to play with to do rank 2v2 would be really cool. And where at that point you don't have to, worry about your decks. Like it just automatically goes through. However, if you click on it and don't invite someone, and you're just like playing with a random, and it sits you down for like a minute or 2 minutes or something where you can talk with that person and maybe build your decks together to try and more suit it to each other's play style. You're not just going in with some random person and you're just kind of SOL.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I guess you're playing like some random like all max V-Barbs deck, and I'm just like, well, I have like this giant deck. I guess I'm making all the pushes, and he just puts everything behind me and hope it works.
Yeah. Or, someone's playing 8 spells just to troll you, and it's just like, oh, thanks, guy. Now I'm just going to lose.
I guess we lost. Yeah, or it's just all buildings. Whoops.
All buildings. Whoopsie.
Yeah, this hog's never getting through.
Hey, that's the good match where you play RG and Hog Riders.
the only time you actually play against it.
Mm-hmm.
Since you were talking about ranked 2v2, would it be similar prizes, or for 1v1 ladder, or would you have some special implement for it to make them separate?
I think it'd go almost exactly off the 1v1 ladder. Maybe like basically make it the exact same. I understand it'd take time for people to grind up in trophies. But once it balances it out, once it's been out for a while, you could probably use the exact rank system from 1v1 and just make it where it goes off whichever one's higher at the time.
Sure.
But, that's going to take some time and for people to actually go up in trophies, because the first week they implement, everyone's going to be at 0 all over again. So because of that, they'd have to, if they wanted to really get people to play 2v2 and to try it when they first introduced rank, they'd have to have some sort of reward system in place just for it until the trophy counts are more similar and they can really just kind of overlap that reward system.
Sure. Something I would like to make the difference, and not just like kind of the exact same thing, but 2v2, is like giving specific rewards for 1v1, specific rewards for 2v2, to emphasize if you want these kind of rewards, then you can grind this challenge or this ladder.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of other games I play. I'll mention that I play Smite, and they have different, like it's basically the same rewards whether you play which of the 3 ranked game modes you play. However, if I remember correctly, I think the borders were different. And like the little symbols you get for it were different. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's been a while since I've really grinded that game and been ranked, but if I remember correctly, so it'd have like the icon for the game mode that you played, and it'd have it like, platinum, diamond, gold, whatever it was, like above your like player card, and
Mm-hmm.
for whatever you had, and was like and you can equip whichever one you want. I think that'd be cool for Clash Royale. Like, oh hey, you reached Ultimate Champion. Well, now you get like a little icon that you can like put on your profile that says that. Or hey, you're at 3,000 trophies in 2v2 and it just implemented. Here's a little badge for it, basically.
Yeah. Gives you a little something, something.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what other kind of unique challenges would be interesting to see? Because they have been doing these weekly rotation sort of things where you at least get one, maybe two a week. What other sort of ideas would you like to see?
Man. I mean, of course, 3v3.
Whoa, calm down there, Spirit. Just take
I
a
know.
chill pill real quick.
Oh, I know. It is meant more as a joke, but it would be interesting if they could expand upon 2v2 and make it where there was more, like, how they have clan wars? Like, make it where there's clan games where it's like a 3v3 or a 5v5, I think, and like specifically had it like as a branch off of clan wars type things. And I think that would be kind of interesting as well. But that's another coding problem and another long step away. But I think it'd be interesting to say the least.
Okay. Well, I think that about does it for this week. I'm Drake. We have the Texaswarrior. This has been the Clash Experience. Appreciate you all showing up.
I hope you all have a great day.
That's not the right one.